I welcome you all distinguished panelists on this informational, very informal Q&A session with our Honorable High Commissioner of India to Canada, Shri Sanjay Kumar Verma ji. And so glad to really have him accepted and join us from Ottawa. An informal session in terms of bringing some of the issues, some of the challenges, and also celebrating some good things which are happening between the community in Indian diaspora. It's nationalhood, Indianism, and the Indian spirits high. Our Honorable High Commissioner of India, Sanjay Kumar Verma ji. Sanjay Kumar Verma ji, after completing his post-graduation in physics from IIT Delhi, of course, entered the Indian Foreign Service in 1988 in the High Commission offices of Hong Kong, People's Republic of China, Vietnam, Turkey, before serving as Consul General of India in Milan, Italy. He also served as Indian Ambassador to Sudan, Japan, and has been a Joint Secretary, Additional Secretary in the Ministry of External Affairs. Introduce our host, Shri Arun Shore ji, who is a managing partner with SP LLP, Barristers and Solicitors, also known as Shuri Bhatia Law Firm, that has been in existence for touching 15 years, prior to which Arun was with Ogilvy Law Firm. He's a very regarded and an active in the Indian diaspora and leads this great law firm, one of the largest law firm, I would say, in Edmonton. And recently, he has been elected as the president of SABA, which is the South Asian Bar Association of North America.
We have some very interesting people on this platform here. Puneet, Rashmiji, Brijesh, Vishal, and Samiji. We're still waiting for Indranil, Mr. Puneet Manchanda, who is the president of the Council of Indian Societies of Edmonton.
We do have BLS here. And I've been also trying to get some feedback on their services. And it seems like they certainly have some of their own limitations under which they work as well. And which has results in maybe people not able to get appointments for a long time, or maybe standing in line early in the morning and still not able to get through. And what I've understood is that they've been trying to improve some of this as well.
Great. Well, thank you very much. So in Canada, since we are only located at 3 locations, that is Ottawa, Vancouver, and Toronto, we needed to reach out to other places as well. So if I calculate the number of both e-visa and all of the services being delivered through BLS, then I think we'll come close to about 600,000 services in a year. So that's a large number. Now, what are we trying to do to get it better? So we are working with BLS, and what I've suggested is to work out an average rule of thumb, number of people they can serve through the walk-in. Appointment I'm not touching, because appointment is available on the portal and people will get appointment only through that. So one is to reduce the number of cancellations. So again, you have to do the calculation as an applicant as to whether you would like to get an appointment, if it is available, or queue up, or send it by the postal mode. I would urge them to look at the e-visa system, because if you are eligible in 72 hours maximum, you'll be able to get your visa. So these are 4 things which I want to explain to you. Reduce the number of cancellations of the appointment. Second, we can restrict the number of people who can queue up. So these are things we are looking at. In India, through SMS, many things can be done here. Unfortunately, the Canadian system doesn't provide for those facilities from legalistic point of view, not that much technical. We are also trying to work on a WhatsApp system.
Is the Vice President for the Indo-Canadian Women Association. Rashmiji, if you allow me, I will pass this on to you to ask your question to Sanjay ji.
In fact, 2024, I'm sure that you know, is our 40th year in this community, serving this community, and much of the work that we do is to support families and in particular women as they integrate into the community here in Edmonton. Think a little bit about how we could best look into the future.
So there are two vulnerable groups in the women, women who are either Indo-Canadians or are coming from India and staying here for a short period. One is, of course, the students. And I think Dr. Vandana Shrivastava may be able to help out in that. Through NGOs in India, if we can raise awareness that, look, if you're coming for a study in Canada, and that is the first step to enter Canada, please see that your financial needs are met. Second thing which is happening is in those areas, and Edmonton is not one of them, in those places where there is a lack of accommodation for the students. So there are houses where both girls and boys are living in different rooms, but in the same house. So there is vulnerability, and we can start it with raising the awareness in India through some NGOs who work with those students. In India, of course, we have a law wherein it is a crime to not keep your elderly parents with you if they need you. Here, unfortunately, there is no such legal provision. So what happens is that these most of these women are unable to even speak English, and therefore they are not very suitable to go to the government facilities or facilities run by NGOs funded by the government in Canada. I believe that if you can assemble those who are women entrepreneurs, women scientists, women innovators, then there is a possibility to have a platform created where the Indo-Canadian women innovators and entrepreneurs can interact with their Indian counterparts.
Thank you, Sanjay ji. That was very impressive. I'll move it on to Mr. Patel, Brijesh Patel, who is the president of the Alberta Gujarati Association.
Sanjay ji, I have a question regarding is anything planned to collaboration with Canadian Institute to ensure like faster recognition of Indian qualifications and reduce the skill gap in various industries? So as an engineer, I know that like I came here in Canada in 25 years ago. Most of our all Indian qualified person and professionals are very harder to get in skilled job, like in field job. So is any Indian government are working with Canadian government or any institution to reduce this kind of skill gap?
Non-professional qualifications, it's fine. The whatever degree you get in India is equally accepted in Canada. For professional degrees, wherever the degrees provide you a legal signatory authority, there, like in any other country, here as well, one need to pass an examination. Not a professional engineer. Your degrees are taken at par with the Canadian degree. So recently we have a flood of new IITians arriving in Canada, and their degrees are taken at par with the equivalent Canadian degrees. And so any qualified Indian doctor who comes here will have to wait for 9 months to a year before the person can appear in the standardization examination. Once the certificate is granted, only then the person is allowed to work. Others are possible. Now let me come to what Arunji represents, that is the lawyers. Since the most of the procedures, whether it is criminal procedures or Indian Evidence Act, so therefore these degrees are not at par acceptable. But if one is working, one is trained in international law and working on international law, then in the advisory role, many of the Indian lawyers have been able to get absorbed.
Vishal Zaveri ji is the vice chair of Indo-Canadian Chamber of Commerce. He is the person behind the March event. He was the one who put everything together and is the one who is trying to bring all the business community in the city of Edmonton together under a very, very profiled banner of Indo-Canadian Chamber of Commerce. Vishalji, I will ask you to please put forward your question to Sanjayji.
Being, in a business community, working with the business community here, I've seen growing interest right now, a trade relation between India and Canada, And so I would like to know your perspective on a current state of Indo-Canadian business ties, like which sector you think which is more potential for us to working together, like where we can work and how we can work on it. And if it's okay, I can maybe go through all my questions together, so maybe you can able to summarize the answer on that. The second thing I have is about the leveraging the investment initiative with the both countries between, within Indian entrepreneurs who wants to come and invest in Canada, or there is a Canadian businesses who are looking for an opportunity in a sectors in India like technology or agriculture or clean energy, where you think that there would be a right resources for us to lead them, right? And last thing, which is, I think there are a lot of great organizations are working together who wants to make sure that Indo-Canadian business happen. A lot of different organizations and everything. So I was requesting, sir, if there is a possibility to have a coordination between all of those organizations together. Maybe I was thinking maybe there is a possibility on your level, maybe to get all those business organizations to have a one platform together, and that's where we can maybe communicate in much better way rather than every organization taking their delegations to their
on the student orientation, when I met the president of the University of Edmonton and the polytechnics there, all of them are very keen to have such orientation, country specific orientation programs, and they are ready to give spaces. What they had suggested that there is a dean for international student in all these organizations, and it's their job to organize such orientation, but the proposal will have to come from the community organization. On Bharat Newcomers thing, in Ottawa we have already done, today we are doing the second student orientation with Carleton University. 3 days back we did it with Algonquin. And what we do is basically we go there in the university premises itself, brief the students, take a few professionals who is financial expert, who is a bank. So yellow peas was not being exported for last 3-4 years, and this year it has just jumped above close to, I think, $160 million in the first 4 months. Item from Canada to India happens to be potash. You are Zaveri. So I'll have to tell you that the recent pickup in last 2 years has been diamonds. And these are non-cut industrial diamonds largely from Canada to India. 3 years had been smartphones. And that runs into close to $300 million export from India to Canada. Investment, when you talked about, there are a lot of sectors for investment available. And clean tech is doing well. Solar is doing very well. Fintech is doing very well. Some of the life sciences collaborations are doing well. And $95 billion can give you many such things. But largely in infrastructure, clean tech, solar, education and healthcare. These are the sectors where most of the investments are going in. From here. But trade in services is close to about $13 billion. So we are trading more services with Canada than goods.
Syed Sami Alam Saab, he is the board member for the Indo-Canadian Muslim Association.
आदाब, नमस्कार, सत श्री अकाल, गुड आफ्टरनून एंड नवरात्रि की आप सबों को बहुत बहुत शुभकामनाएं। और मैं ये ऑर्गेनाइजेशन 2017-18 में हम लोगों ने ऑर्गेनाइज किया।
थैंक यू आलम साहब। आपके कितने सदस्य होंगे वहाँ आपके?
हमारे कम से कम अभी 800 से 1000 हमारे मेंबर हैं।
तो फिर
सारे इंडिया से, गुजरात से, हैदराबाद से, लखनऊ से, बिहार से, पटने से और बंगाल से, साउथ इंडिया से।
कि आपका भी उतना ही अधिकार है हाई कमिश्नर और हाई कमिश्नर पे जितना किसी और आदमी का है।
एग्जैक्टली।
तो अगर आपकी इच्छा हो तो आप अपने बोर्ड मेंबर्स को बुलाएं, अलग से वीसी करें मेरे साथ, और जो उनके प्रश्न हो उन प्रश्नों को मैं का उत्तर देने की कोशिश करूंगा.
Question, Indranil Chaudhary Saab is the Community Outreach Coordinator for the United Conservative Caucus.
नमस्कार आप सबको. नमस्कार. बहुत वेरी क्विकली एक टिप्पणी जो हमारे सामी आलम जी हैं, 14 साल की रिलेशन है हमारी. कल हमारे मुलाकात हुई आफ्टर अबाउट अ ईयर और सो, और मैं पुनीत जी से इमीडिएटली रात को करीब 10 बजे बात किया कि 14 साल की एक एजेंडा है जहाँ पे कि हम मुस्लिम एसोसिएशन को इंडिया काउंसिल में लाना चाहते हैं. वेरी एग्रेसिवली वर्किंग टू इंक्रीज द ट्रेड रिलेशंस विद द इंडियन स्टेट्स, क्योंकि हमारी जो मैंडेट है वो सब नेशनल लेवल पे है. एंड आई डोंट वांट टू टेक अवे दैट the suspense of what's happening unless and until Shane gets and makes that announcement which is expected soon. आपको एक पर्सपेक्टिव दे दूं कि हमारी प्रोविंस से, अल्बर्टा से जो ट्रेड हुआ है, एक्सपोर्ट हुआ है इंडिया, ओनली 0.34 बिलियन. अब बिलियन में इसलिए बोल रहा हूं कि उसी दरमियान, उसी समय पे जो ट्रेड चाइना के साथ हुआ है वो 5.4 बिलियन है.
पिछली बार जब मैं आया था आप लोगों के पास, तो आप लोगों से मिलने के ठीक पहले प्रीमियर से भी मुलाकात हुई थी, कैबिनेट से भी मुलाकात हुई थी, तो उसमें हम लोगों ने इन सब बातों पर चर्चा की थी. और चर्चा के दौरान यही मामला सामने आया कि एक तो जो अल्बर्टा के का क्रूड ऑयल है वो हमारे यहाँ आसानी से जा सकता है. दूसरा जो है उस पर भी हम लोगों ने बात की थी, वो था एग्रीकल्चर प्रोड्यूस. तो जो पल्सेस की हम बात करते हैं, सास्केचुआन भी है और अल्बर्टा भी है उसमें. येलो पीस की बात करते हैं, सास्केचुआन भी है, अल्बर्टा भी है उसमें. तीसरी चीज सर्विसेज का जो एक्सपोर्ट है, जैसे आपने इन्फोसिस की बात की, कैलगरी में हमारा जो टॉप 5 इंडियन आईटी कंपनीज है सभी है वहां पे. आपके यहाँ एक ऑर्गेनाइजेशन है जिसका नाम है SICI, सिकी, शास्त्री इंडो कैनेडियन इंस्टीट्यूट, और शायद नवंबर में ही उनको लेकर जाना है लगभग 30 के करीब कैनेडियन नर्सिंग स्टूडेंट्स को इंडिया एक्सपोजर के लिए. मेरी सलाह ये रहेगी कि आप सब नेशनल रहें, लेकिन भारत से जब ट्रेड खास करके रिश्ता देखते हैं तो उसको सब नेशनल भारत के लिए न रखें. उसमें पूरे भारत को देखें. क्योंकि हमारे यहाँ जरूरी नहीं है कि आपको हर एक स्टेट में जो आप चाहते हैं वो सभी चीजें अवेलेबल हो. एरोस्पेस में बहुत काम हो रहा है दोनों देशों के बीच, तो अभी तो क्यूबेक के साथ सबसे ज्यादा है हमारा. टेलीकम्युनिकेशन में भी क्यूबेक के साथ सबसे ज्यादा है. मेरी बस केवल यही सलाह रहेगी कि आप सब नेशनल देखें, बिल्कुल अपने आप को, भारत को एक देश के रूप में.
पॉइंट नोटेड. इसमें जो इनोवेटिव प्रोडक्ट जो कि हम आमतौर पर चर्चा नहीं करते हैं, वो एक है कि एडवांस एजुकेशन. तो हम जब जाएंगे आपसे मिलेंगे, वन ऑफ आवर मेजर प्रोडक्ट इज एडवांस एजुकेशन. सेकंड है कि हमारे प्रीमियर ने मैंडेट दिया है कि अल्बर्टा को हाइड्रोजन कैपिटल ऑफ द वर्ल्ड बनाना है. तो यू नो दिस वी आर गोइंग टू डिस्कस.
Sanjay ji, for taking out time for all these questions. I'm sure these questions come to you back and forth again and again, and your response to these has to be on the tip of your fingers. Anupam,
just sum up what exactly the V4U agenda, V4U is doing. We are a digital broadcaster, and consolidation is on our top of our mind, consolidating all the good activities and amplifying it within the Indian diaspora by connecting the governments, the diplomatic, business to business and people. These are the 4 pillars we're working on. Very quiet and instrumental strength behind V4U, which is the Chief Operating Officer, Dr. Vandana Srivastava, to maybe say a few words and then we'll wrap it up. Sanjay ji, I will come back to you again to request you and your office to keep supporting and keep coming to these forums like this, because this is a great motivation actually to really hear out.
Thank you everybody. Thank you His Excellency for giving us time, and thanks Anupam and Arun ji for giving me a chance. So actually I don't want to take anybody's time per se, but impressive laga your complete encyclopedia actually, and I want to tell everybody there is ME Madad. There is PBSK Sahayata, Council's email is there, so anybody can contact you. It's not that tough कि आपको हम ढूंढ नहीं पाए. ढूंढना बहुत आसान है, एक मेल करना होता है. It's a very easy job. तो सर I have become diplomat's wife, public grievances करती हूँ through NGO, एक lawyer हूँ international. I was very happy when you said about international law, and एक common citizen हूँ. तो in my current positions I have got this opportunity to engage with different bodies in United Nations. And so I'm really very happy to tell you that the image of India has definitely improved a lot in last few years. So sir, हम V4U वाले हमारे यही काम we are trying to bridge this gap in our future program. So with your help, His Excellency, with you, Arunji, and with all the community leaders like you all, I think we can do something great in coming time. So thank you very much for giving your time, and thanks for accepting our invitation all the time, sir. We are very happy.
Thank you so much, and I hope you all enjoyed the small session with none other than our High Commissioner, Shri Sanjay Kumar Verma. Thank you, Arun, for hosting it. Thank you all, distinguished panelists. We'll see you again. Thank you.